In this episode of The Big Story, the constituency of St. Ann Northeastern came alive on nomination day. This as three men formalized their candidacy for a by-election clash. The candidate of the governing Jamaica Labour Party came with several promises and a massive crowd, unlike his two opponents.
Northeast St. Ann, ready for the road, and it's campaign time, and we're going to win on September 30th.
The island's other major political organization, the People's National Party, is boycotting the by-election, and its representative in the constituency said there is no regret in doing so.
Absolutely no regret at all. The party remains steadfast.
Another of the candidates is a teacher representing the relatively minor political party, the United Independence Congress. And the other candidate is a businessman, nominated as an independent.
I don't want to be making promises to people, but giving them an assurance that when I'm elected, there will be a difference.
A major talking point on nomination day was whether the independent candidate is really independent. That's because he's a former member of the People's National Party, which is boycotting the election.
We must beat the independents for the PNP, because there is no such thing as an independent candidate in this race. It is the PNP.
But the fact is that the People's National Party has no hand in putting up any of these candidates.
I was not sent by anyone. I don't think I'm one of those people that you can send out to do a job like that.
Stay with us as we go beyond the sound bites and the headlines on this, The Big Story. A massive crowd in the sweltering heat in the heart of Senans Bay, nomination day. Those green-clad people came from all across the island to show support for the governing Jamaica Labour Party, JLP.
Show a Labour right, show
That party's first-time candidate, Matthew Samuda, was nominated to contest the September 30, 2024 by-election in St. Ann Northeastern.
Right now, Prime Minister, Northeast St. Ann, ready for the road, and it's campaign time, and we're going to win on September 30th.
Two other men were also nominated on Wednesday, September 11. They are teacher Chase Neal of a relatively minor party known as the United Independence Congress, UIC, and businessman David Fritz Anderson, who is an independent candidate. Minor parties and independents have never performed well in elections held in the seat, and that's among the reasons the governing JLP is predicted to retain it. JLP leader, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, is taking nothing for granted.
We do not take any elections for granted. It don't matter who is running. Our job is to get out all our supporters, all our voters to come and vote for our candidate. So I am charging all of you who are here today that don't just take it for granted. Go out and vote.
Bring your neighbor.
And more than that, bring your neighbor to vote for Labour.
Throughout the day, many JLP supporters and even its candidate were heard questioning the independence of the independent candidate Anderson. They implied that he was sent and is being supported by the island's other major political organization, the People's National Party, PNP, which is boycotting the election.
We have work to do, because we are not going to be fooled, because there is no independence in that independent. That is a PNP first. We must beat the independents for the PNP, because there is no such thing as an independent candidate in this race. It is the PNP. So I need you to stand with me, to walk with me, to work with me, and I will do the same, and I will be here for you as I have been here for 18 months.
The independent candidate, in an interview with the Beacon, stated that he's a former member of the PNP, but he asserted that he is not an undercover agent of that organization.
I was not sent by anyone, because I am for the people. Anybody who knows me in St. Ann knows that I'm for people. So this is not new. This is not a vehicle I'm using for whatever. And I don't think I'm one of those people that you can send out to do a job like that, because my reputation means more than just, just politics. I'm not a desperate person. I'm not desperate for position, and I won't be directed by anyone to do, what they think I should do. And what benefit would this have to the PNP if they send?
The PNP caretaker candidate in the constituency, Dr. Ryan Simpson, rejected the claim.
The fact is that the People's National Party has no hand in putting up any of these candidates. And it's a democratic process. Anybody has a right to present themselves or offer themselves in a general election. So, I support and strongly support all candidates who offer themselves to allow the people to decide, because that's what it is. That's what democracy is all about. So when I say support, and let me be clear about support, meaning I affirm a Jamaican who's eligible to vote. I affirm their right to offer themselves. But the PNP is not, People's National Party is not putting up anybody at all.
The PNP said it is not participating, partly because it does not consider it wise for taxpayers to fund a by-election in the seat now, months before constituents return to the polls in the general election. The PNP also lamented that the Prime Minister announced the St. Ann North East by-election mere hours after the resignation of Member of Parliament Marsha Smith. That's despite the fact that a by-election is yet to be announced in another constituency a year after the resignation of its Member of Parliament.
Absolutely no regret at all. The party remains steadfast that it is unjust, it is inequitable, it's disingenuous of the Jamaica Labour Party and the government of Jamaica Labour Party to force a by-election upon the people of North East St. Ann at this point in time, during minutes, hours after the Member of Parliament would have resigned, while the people of Northern Trelawney, who have been without representation for over a year, still have not even gotten a chance, even a date in mind.
The PNP is not the only organization that has expressed dissatisfaction with the way in which the by-election date was picked and announced. Concern also has been raised by some non-political organizations, including the Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections, CAFE. That group wants the law to be amended to facilitate fixed election dates, as opposed to the Prime Minister having exclusive power to pick and announce such dates. The group argued that the power given to the Prime Minister may result in what it described as unprincipled manipulation of the process. Amid the outrage, the Prime Minister recently announced that by-elections will soon take place in the seats that have been without representation much longer than St. Ann North Eastern. On nomination day, he reiterated such position.
Matthew Samuda is a good man.
The JLP leader and Prime Minister expressed confidence in Samuda.
Matthew Samuda has been a very energetic, responsive, and attentive Minister of Government. I have observed him work in this constituency, and it is clear to me that he has the support of the Jamaica Labour Party base, but he also has the support of all critical stakeholder groups in the constituency. I have no doubt that after the election results are announced, that Matthew Samuda will be the next Member of Parliament for North East St. Ann.
Moments after being nominated, Samuda announced a number of projects for the constituency, which he is seeking to represent in Parliament.
I know, Prime Minister, that in you we can trust that the people of Windsor are about to get their titles that they have long since waited for, because Windsor people deserve them. Prime Minister, I know that Steertown people are waiting for a title little too long too, and it'll come now because my Prime Minister will make it happen. I know the people of Falkland and Mansfield Heights are waiting for a title, but them are going to come now because people forget them land. Especially when they have gone through the process. And Prime Minister, our people line up to go through the process. We will follow the process, but we will take care of our people. Prime Minister, I know you have the Spark program and the Reach program. We have some roads that we have to do before Christmas. Gully Road to Lime Hall have to resurface before Christmas, and it's going to happen. Great Pad Link in Ocho Rios to Exchange is going to happen before Christmas. Prime Minister, you have 5.5 kilometer 10-inch ductile pipe to drop off an exchange. A project that you signed off for Shiny Robinson right before our passing. It is finally ready. We have major plans for all the things that matter to you. And we are going to spend the next 17 days going through those issues one by one with you. So whether it is the construction of the new free beach park at Priory Beach for all of you, which will be free, or whether it is the renovation of Little Duns River, that will be free, whether it is the upgrading of the craft markets for our craft vendors, that will happen. We have a hurdle to go over first. And Labour rights, I want you to be focused. We have an election to win.
He has a lot of plans indeed, and a lot of people following him around. But the crowds are not intimidating for the independent candidate, who has rejected claims that he's wasting his time and money.
And you don't watch the amount of crowd that you may see in a particular state at a particular time. We are going to do what is best, and we are going to do it to the best of our ability. I'm from St. Anne. I was born in St. Anne. Born and bred. This is my hometown, per se. I was grown in Civil Heights. I've been there for 47 years. I was born in Alexandria, St. Anne. So I'm very much a St. Annian, for want of a better term.
Asked why he opted to enter the political process, he gave this reply.
It's not about choosing to enter the political process, but it's about choosing to represent the people on a wider stage.
And in order to effectively represent the people, he will need to ascertain their needs, something that he said he will do during his campaign.
Well, meeting the people and coming one-to-one with the people, hearing their needs in the various communities and sectors. And, I don't want to be making promises to people, but giving them an assurance that when I'm elected, there will be a difference like never before.
Like Anderson and Samuda, Chance of the UIC is also oozing confidence, though Jamaicans over the years have been rejecting third parties such as his at the polls. In a radio interview, Chance said, quote, "The present system does not serve the interest of the common man. It is overrun by two colonial parties that are sponsored by private interest and colonial interests. The parties have to carry out the mandate of their funders, those who own them." End quote. Chance urged voters in St. Anne Northeastern to now choose what's best for them, and that he thinks is to put him in. Will they do so? They'll give an answer on Election Day. I'm Horace Mills reporting for the Jamaica Beacon.